that the Wi-Fi is working. This phone, the Wi-Fi wasn't working. So, anywho, just to start off, in case Papa Tony jumps in, we might be doing a collaboration. We're gonna be testing some stuff tonight, so I kind of wanted to also let you know that you got to check out Papa Tony's channel. So if things start going kind of wild and I'm like looking this way, it's probably because we're tuning in some stuff. Oh, that was just something old. Sorry, that popped in. And also, by the way, if you do jump on here in the meanwhile, I'm a little early. We're shooting for around 9 o'clock ish. That's if he gets the okay and everything kind of works. Like I said, everything's test. I figured I'd jump on here. I'm a little early, do a little paperwork. I'm collecting I got paperwork to collect, so I'm going to take a second to do that while things are warming up. See how things are going. I guess Kat told me. Thank you for the like. I really appreciate it. I guess this we got snagged on something, of course, right? It's like a bungee cord. They never hook when you want them to, but we got extension cord violation. I hope they don't send another violation for having to do another inspection. They're good for that. So that's the joys, right? That's the joys of running business. Every year, you got to have an annual fire inspection. They want your fire, so you got to pay the lobbyist, right? You got to pay the lobbyist to, hopefully too, let me know if audio's okay. Hit the thumbs up or just say mic check is good or audio's good. That'd be helpful. I'd appreciate it. Make sure I'm not talking to a wall because sometimes that does happen. But yeah, so you got to get your fire extinguishers. We got 2 of them in the shop, which I'm okay with. I'm all good with having fire extinguishers. I've had a fire burnt down a garage once. That was no good. So I like that, but I don't know. The whole, you got to have them inspected. They do the same thing I could do. I could just look at it. Of course, you can't do it yourself. Oh, no, 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 no. You can't do it yourself. No, no. You have to, pay an outside company to come do it. I don't think they charge too much. I think it's like, it seemed like it went up. It used to be like $65, $68. I think it's up to like 80 something now. I don't quite recall. Probably 120 nowadays. Inflation. So they come in, do their inspection, but the thing is what I don't like is I've had this stuff happen before. Kevin says it's good. Kevin, welcome. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. So what I don't like though is one thing I did kind of learn, right? Is that you can for one, they typically send you something in the mail. And you want to make sure they have an appointment. That's one thing you can do if they kind of barge into your place and they act like, oh, we're here to do an inspection. Say, no. You need to make an appointment. That normally stops them. Not going to say I'm not an attorney and, I don't know all the legal, but that's what I learned from a buddy down the road. And I stick with it. So that's how I do it. So they got to have an appointment. The secretary, an old secretary, they worked here before. She once had one come in. They said supposedly they were looking for the water line, the water line coming into the building. And of course, they went through the back door here, and they were in the whole place, right? And the water line is right up in the corner of the building here. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think they were playing Inspector Gadget on something. Another time, right? Fire inspection came. I remember I had a diesel truck at the time, right? So I had an extension cord out the garage door, and I remember they, what they do, right? Which is kind of crummy, I think. They send an apprentice, right? So they always send a young buck. And so he comes in, he's got his clipboard, he's all fancy, he's all dressed up, whatever. Not dressed up, it's just in a fire, stuff, you know what I mean? Just collared shirt. He looks nice. But comes in, right, and he's like, what's that extension cord for? And I'm like, that's for my diesel truck. It's so when I'm parking here during the day, it's warm, it's ready to go, in case I got a service call, whatever. And you know what really grinded my hiney, right? Is I was like, I said, I told the guy, I go, is that a problem? Is that a problem? And the guy goes, he's like, nope, not a problem at all. Like a week or 2 weeks later, right? Violation comes in the mail. You know what I mean? We have to do a reinspection. You're in violation of having an extension cord outside your garage door because it's not going to an outside outlet with a GFI. Oh, Lord. So I got rid of it. They came back. It was all good. And then as soon as they left, it went right back. But the problem is they're always looking for something, right? So the first year, whoa, hey, I see that one jumped in. That one says, hello from Russia. Russia. That's pretty cool, man. Awesome. Got the USA here. Got America. We got Michigan. Hope you're doing good in Russia. How's Russia? Russia feels safe? You should email me. You should email me. I didn't put it in the description below. But it's the daveadubson@gmail.com. I typically put it in all my other videos. Check out my other videos. In the description, it'll say Dave A. Dubson. You should email me. Let me know how I'd like to know how Russia is, by somebody that's human. You know what I mean? Like, is it a safe place? Does it seem fair? Is it pretty nice? I hear kind of good things about Russia. So, I'd like to hear it from not the mainstream media. I'd like to hear it from a human. So, anywho, they, the next year, right, they come in, and I was real thorough, right? I went through the whole shop, made sure propane tanks, anything, gasoline. The secretary's like, what are you doing? I said, I ain't going to give them no reason to come back or violation. So I got they got the shop all cleaned up. Everything's looking good. Gas cans, everything, no extension cords. They come in. They hit us with stuff. We got stuff in the rafters, right? We got stuff in the rafters. Not angle, but track, the horizontal tracks and stuff, and vertical in the rafters. And guess what they do? Violation. Well, and I'm right there with the guy, right? And I told the guy, I said, I don't understand. I said, they were there last year. I said, the guy didn't have a problem. Well, he probably just didn't catch it. It's like they always got to find one thing with these inspectors. And they always got to find one thing, something to report back because there's nothing that's perfect. So the fire marshal guy, whatever, goes, well, I'll have to talk to the building inspector. And I just told him, I said, is there a waiver I can sign? Can I just sign a waiver? Our shop's not very big. And I said, can I just sign a waiver that basically, if this place is on fire, don't step foot in here. And he's telling me, well, the problem is because the stuff's in the rafter, it could fall down. It could injure the firemen. And I'm like, I'm thinking, the rafters can't fall down? The ceiling couldn't fall down? The sharp metal and the lights? And I mean, like, okay. This puppy's on fire, man. Let her go. It's a very easy building contained from the outside. Let her implode. Just, you know what I mean? I guess human life or something. I don't know. But there's nobody really ever here. So, no, we can't do that, blah, blah. So I go back to work. I'm doing paperwork, right? Whatever. And, of course, here comes just pulling in here, right? Here comes the old gadget, building inspector, right? You comes in, I guess I gotta look at something, blah, blah. It wasn't even the building, it was actually the next guy up, the fire marshal. And I knew him, right? I'd seen him before. I've heard, I was like, okay. I was like, and I'm thinking, no appointment. I thought, but luckily we're here. And this was 3-4 hours ago when the guy was here. So I'm like, yeah, and he comes in, he stands around, he looks around, he goes, man, I have to talk to the building inspector. I have to get back. I'll get back to you, blah, 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 right? Never hear nothing. It's still been there to this day. So they came in, obviously, again, and now they found an extension cord. So maybe we should just leave the damn extension cord. I'll leave the damn extension cord. Extension cord's easy fix. You know what I mean? I'd rather take a violation on the extension cord underneath your chair than the crap up in the rafters, because I know that it was a lot of stuff to move. So what's going on out there in the world? Everybody doing good? Everybody still making $1? Feeding the families? What we got here? What we got? Oh, Freeze got somebody. I see that. Kevin says good. We got Aaron. All right. What's up, Aaron? Hope you're doing good. Evan's here. Hey. What's up? What's up, too? Is this Archer? Is it Archer? Kind of cool name. Hopefully I'm not butchering it. USA. Yeah, what do you think, man? You think you get Mr. T? We got the hello from Russia. Archer, hello from USA. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. He said that. Whoa. The ZHDAN. Oh man, that stuff comes in. It's weird. It's like a different language. Evan's got my first thrown cable job. What is this, Evan? What do you mean you got my? What is this? It's like weird. My shirt's like messing with the comments here. Got my first thrown cable job. Oh, okay. I got it. Thrown cable job. Here we go, Evan. I got one for you. Did you get pictures? Did you get pictures? Uncle Dave's asking now. Did you get pictures? Because the problem is, I've had this happen over the years, right? A lot of times. A neighbor guy did it to me not too long ago. So, hey, my cables came off. I already know it. 9 times out of 10, it's a broken spring. Not always, because obviously they put a broom or something in there. But that's why, like I said, if you can get that a picture of the garage door, you can normally zoom in and you can see if there's a separation in the spring, or you can see there's a bunch of clutter, there's a bunch of rakes and brooms, or there's a dead cat in the corner, and you're like, oh, that's why the door didn't go down all the way over there, So I'm just curious, Evan, did you get pictures? I know it's pretty late now. You're probably going to be able to message the customer. But you might be able tomorrow before you go. Of course, I don't know if you have springs. Where are you going to get your springs? Do you need spring clamps? Do you see my video about Uncle Dave with the spring clamps? But I'm excited. Let me know how it goes, Evan. Evan, you messaged me before, haven't you? Text, right? If you can, like I said, shoot me. Let me know how it goes. I want to know. If a door throwing a cable since it was installed, it was likely Leroy put springs on drums on backwards. I don't know. I just know one thing that's really tricky that threw me for years is that whoever installed it, that's why I like using the laser, if that track is off. Because I remember when I first started out, right? I mean, I'd do doors or I'd go to repair. I didn't know. And I'd go to them, right? And I'd be like, I started learning real quick because I would personally, I know it's hard to believe I ever made a mistake. I've made lots. I still make mistakes. But anyways, the customer would call and say that, a cable or something, door went crooked. And I'd go there and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Like, I installed this door. I mean, it's brand new. Why? This is bull crap. And I'd run the door and then I'd pay attention to that cable. So anytime I ever touch doors, I mean, that's always one of those things that's ingrained in me pretty well. That I do springs, I do anything. Even if I just spray the door down, I'm always checking that cable. I always try to wiggle it a little bit. As long as it don't fall off the drum, it's pretty good. But if it's like really close where it wants to pop off, that ain't gonna happen because that could fall off and be a callback. So, but what I didn't know was the track to look for. Now, I mean, it could go to bottom bracket, the cables, depending on who made the cables. I don't think the link, because you're gonna tighten them, set them when it's on the ground, but you don't want the cables way off. How they're set on there because they got that little high spot. But like I said, the one that threw me, I never paid attention that much, the track. So if they're slammed in the ground and that concrete's not perfect or the concrete's caved in one spot, but your bottom brackets, if somebody really went goofy, that could goof up stuff too a little bit. I see Tanner's in the house. I don't know if I'm to Tanner yet. First thrown cable. Tanner says, nice, Evan. You got yourself come along. And cable grabbers. Ooh, that's a good question. That's a lot easier. All depends, right? I mean, Tanner knows this. It all depends on where that door is at, right? If it's, partially up, I've cheated. If the door is up and the cables, I'll sit there and just weave it back on gently and then bring the door down slowly and let the cable, you normally hear it kind of snap, crackle, pop, but it gets back in the groove where it's supposed to. Hopefully it's something easy and the customer say, well, I left a broom or my kid, and I hit the garage door button and it hit that. Robert says, I'm sorry, Russia. Is this TLB fan? Hey, bro, I was in LA yesterday. A kid got electrocuted with a power line. Oh, man, that's the worst. I tell you, man, I've watched some videos on that. Electricity really scares the crap out of me, that high voltage stuff about some of that stuff. You ever watch people, when they hit something? I think the scariest one that still comes to my mind, there's one out there, I think it might have been like China. I could be wrong with this. I got to check in for, but it was like, I remember they were pushing like, there's like three guys, man, and I'm thinking they got families or kids probably, or just, it doesn't matter, right? But they're pushing this what do you call it, scaffolding on wheels, right? And they must have hit it, and man, you just see them lock onto that thing. Their feet go out from under them, and they just cook, man. And I'm just like, oh, that's one of those things that does. It's just one of those things that doesn't matter how strong you are, you know. Hopefully, you left on good terms. Where you mentally prepared and spiritually and everything. Because I mean, that's horrible. I don't wish that upon anybody. Do 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 do. That's or not wound enough or too much. Wrong spring, hard to tell without being there. That's true. Tanner's right. Could be. That's some things to investigate. Make sure you know if has the spring been changed recently. That's always a good thing to know. Chris has got, what's up, Chris? Could be unlevel door. Could be. That is true. That is true, right? Because of the doors, you set things. Yep, that's true. Track, unlevel door. I'm glad Chris brought that up because that is true. Unlevel door. So, I don't know. The more I've been playing with the laser, the more I like the laser. I feel like I use a level. And I'm always questioning it because I'm looking at the lines. I'm like, it might be a fuzz closer that way than this way. And I just like the laser because it can go such a span. You definitely still want to level though, because I know one thing. If it's super bright in there, I haven't had so much problem with garage doors, but I have had it on fence lines and stuff out in the field, unless like I normally do it in the evening, so I can see stuff a little better. But one thing I never tried, that I was just watching something today actually, and I was thinking about it. I was thinking, if I got a piece of flat ground for the most part, I'd probably be trimming all the pipe. But I was thinking to myself, or I'd have guys go behind me after you set posts. This is for fencing. The water trick. Now, somebody was saying, they said they put, what do they put? Washer fluid in it, in a clear tube, right? But the water trick, right? Where you hold the water and water always levels itself. So you could, I thought that'd be pretty cool. Like if you went to post to post to post, and then you get everything level, because typically they're 10 foot apart, so you don't have something long enough. But two guys could easily, especially if somebody was kind of setting the post and they're still a little bit loose, where somebody could either tap them and get them set. I thought, if you got a pretty level ground, because sometimes you do with fencing, you got to go with the terrain. Sometimes it's like, I'm gonna make this one a straight shot. I want it to look good, the top rail, because the bottom, they can fill in a few voids here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty level. So I don't know. I might try that sometime. Tanner says could be. Eric got freeze. I had a thrown cable yesterday. If my boss and a customer were there, I would have gotten pictures. I got it. It says you would get a kick out of it. Just guess why the cables were off. Why were the cables off? Why were the cables off? I don't know. I'm thinking like a 2x4 or something. I don't think it's a track bolt. I don't know. You have to let me know. Evan says, I'll ask for pictures tomorrow. I'm still not sure if I'm doing an opener install as well. Ooh, Evan, if you're doing an opener install, what kind of opener? Are they going to purchase it? Are you gonna swing them towards like a genie, Chamberlain? What you rocking? Like I said, make sure you get some pictures. Get some pictures for Uncle Dave. Love it. Rusty's been sending me some. He's got some pretty cool ones he's been sending me. I think it was for the ketchup one. Was a ketchup plant, I believe, right? If I'm wrong, correct me, Rusty. Jump on. He got someone. What was it? The Zodiac, for like ice, the machine for cleaning off the ice and all that. It's pretty cool. Oh, or it says, or check the cable linked. Sometime a DIYer or a cable guy replace them, and if they one is longer than the other a bit, not talking 1 inch or less, then that might do it too, for sure. I gotta keep checking the phone here, make sure. TLB, yeah, it was down. Perfect. What's up, Rob? Rob, hope you're doing good. Check door level, check tension. Make sure there's enough when it's open. What kind of motor? Side mount? Ooh, that's a good question. Are tracks pitched up enough? Ooh, let's see. There's a lot. Hey, I tell you what, this is great. This is this is what I really enjoy. So thank you guys for putting that stuff in there because there's a lot of variables, and I think it's one of those things you can really take it for granted. Honestly, I do, because there's like stuff. I've been watching like some like drone videos now, the ones they fly in it. And I watch some of these guys, and I'm just like, I'm so freaking clueless. Like, what are they? What? How do they do that? What is this? What are they using? And blah 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 blah. So I want that information. And so if you're a seasoned vet and you do garage doors, hey, we got up to 5 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. It's just amazing to me that how you take it for granted, right? You just walk in, and it's just like you know it like the back of your hand, right? You're just kind of like, oh yeah, I've been down this road before. I know what that does. I know what this does. I know how this works. I know I got to do this. I know I can figure this out. But it's definitely easier when you're younger to definitely hit the panic button, isn't it? I hit the panic button, honestly, a couple days back when I was helping the brother-in-law out on his door, and the door just kept smashing into the opener that I put in, and it was low headroom, and I had to get those quick turn brackets, and I'm just like, no, I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, I'm so screwed. And I finally worked my way through it, but I can feel that anxiety, and I'm sure with guys that are, especially if something starts getting worse. I still remember the first opener. Does anybody know if the DC motors will shut down? I'm assuming they will, where they just melt. I don't know. Will the DC motors, residential ones, if you run them enough, will they shut down after so many cycles, like the thermal overload, like the AC units did? The reason I bring that up is because my first one I ever did, I had to do it without my business partner, right? The economy was crap. We had somebody that owed us 10 grand. I had to do everything. I always let him do the wire. I was always mechanical. He was always wiring, or the wire guy. So I did this one all by myself. I got everything working. I ran the door I wanted to run it like 3 or 4 more times to make sure everything was working right, that I had set the limits and stuff. And I'll never forget, I was kind of out in the country, and I remember the opener stopped like 3/4 of the way down. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like I was freaking out in my head. Like I was like, I just broke their opener. Like, how am I going to explain to this customer when that wasn't the original problem? You know what I mean? Like now I got to on the door. Yeah, your opener's not working anymore. And I remember I was like calling something like, dude, I'm like, what do I like? Dude, the opener stopped working. He's like, it's okay. It's a hot summer day. You probably hit the overload. Or, it just got hot. So just give it a few minutes. I had to go to another service call. I was dying. And so I told the customer, I was like panicked. I was like, look, your opener should be all good to go. Just, give it 10, 20 minutes. I was like, and try it. And I said, she'll work fine. I said, if it don't, let me know. I said, I'll come back. And I run around like chicken, my head cut off. TBL, he was unresponsive. I was going to act and help him out, but that would have us both in danger. Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't even know if I would be prepared. I've watched a lot of videos on people being electrocuted, and you're supposed to keep your feet together, and you're supposed to hop. There's so many different scenarios. And then it's like you said, what if you do one wrong thing and now you're part of it too? I mean, you know how it goes, man. It's sad. It's sad. But you just can't, Oh, what a horrible situation. Eric says, it's the trains that scare me. We have one get killed by a train every year. Interesting. The trains, huh? Like people driving or just walking? Evan's guy says, door could possibly be unlevel. Garage was old family barn that's been converted into a shop. Oh. What's up, Rich? What you got? Food coloring. Ooh, that's smart too. Must be going on the cheap side. Zamboni. Yep, the Zamboni. Zamboni. I used to always like watching Zamboni. I used to watch the hockey games to go down to the Muskegon Ferry. That's what they used to have, and watch the Zamboni go around. Play their music. Little intermission. Evan, he says, I told there's an opener there. It is it's a Skylink. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna my cousin to take that piece of shit back to this. Oh no, yeah, Skylink, man. I don't I still don't it's not Evan. If you get a picture of one or whatever, I just still cannot like it's just not I don't think we have them around here. It's just somebody messaging me on there. I don't think we have one on there. Or have them around here. I just that does not I think it's what do I think of Skylink? I don't know. Tell my cousin mean yeah, tell my cousin mean to say, got it. Eric's got bingo. I both fell into a track. And rolling was like I went a rolling door going down. It was a 16 by 7 with the MVP. The force was maxed out. Ooh, man. Oh, bolt fell out. Okay, so bolt fell out of the track. Okay, so went down closing. Yeah, those track bolts, man. I tell you, you gotta watch them. I remember I was working with a guy once. We did a. It wasn't like a big. It was like it was residential, um, but we were far away, and I don't remember if we did. I feel like I did two on the front and one on the back, like two 16 by 7s and one 9 by 7 or I feel like they're 9 by 8s because everything was a little tall. And anyways, he didn't really have nothing to do, right? So I told him, I said, hey man, I said, go around and check the track. And he's like, I mean, he acted kind of like, what for? And I said, because I said sometimes I said we flew with these things because I think we had two other guys there and we flew with getting them up, but then we were doing all the fine detail stuff because they had to go to another job. And so he's like, well, and so I said, watch. I said, go around. I said, take this broom handle or whatever. I said, and whack the track. And I could literally he started whacking the track. I remember, and I could hear it across the room. I told him, I said, "There's a track bolt loose on that one. I can hear it." Well, how can you tell that? I said, "I can tell." And so I said, "It's here somewhere." I said, "Hit it again." We found it. So sometimes what I do, just as a second precaution. Now, obviously, if you look at them visually, it's going to be better. But I'll bang the track, and I can hear it ringing. A track that's loose. It's just something if you're in a rush, you're second guessing yourself. It's kind of like back hangs. I always second guess myself on those too a little bit. I went through the last one I just did. I rechecked everything because I leave stuff loose, right? And the one that gets me is always on the track because sometimes I hit those so it keep my angle up, and then I leave my brackets loose. I know to tighten those ones up after, but I do that so when I get the door up, I can adjust it in the air. I'll have somebody either bring it down or myself halfway, and then I'll move it where it's got to go. But sometimes I can just forget them. I can look at my other phone right now. I think Evan sent me that Skylink. Oh, the Skylink. Yeah, we don't have those around there. That thing is like it looks like skis on a snowmobile. It's got a little dome light. I'd show you. I'm not going to give you Evan's number. Let's see here. Bingo. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Eric. Eric sent me that. Eric, I gotta save your name in there. Darn it. I'm sorry about that. I heard try to burn out. I haven't tried to burn out a DC. I haven't tried to burn out a DC motor. I was just wondering because what's his name? Adam, the Brazilian hot dog, right? He had one that the motor. It could have just been obviously because it was just worn out from use. But I just thought if anybody knew they've ran it so many times in the hot weather, will it shut down? I'm assuming it will. I just didn't know if maybe the DC motors, maybe it'll like run and overheat and just like melt itself before it'll even shut down. So because I had one, nobody have I released that? No, I'm still editing that video. Nobody's even in the live streams have messed or told me. Is there? You've probably seen the video, I think, but it's like what I don't like is if you're doing your down limit, if you don't hit it right, the rail bucks or whatever, uh, it seems to me like you got to go back through the whole settings again, which kind of irritates me. You know what I mean? Because you know how that down limit always goes past sometimes, it always goes like half an inch past whatever you set it for. I did one and I had to go through it like 3 or 4 times. It was kind of irritating. I thought, God darn it, I thought if this had mechanical limits, I could just literally bring the door up partially. And I started thinking, going, I'm gonna overheat this opener and it's gonna shut down on me. And I'm not used to the new ones. So I don't know what they can do. I haven't tried to burn out DC. Says Ramis says oil up the beard. Yeah, the wife likes that. She does that sometimes. She likes it. It's all over the place. Yeah, it's a shaggy one. I can't really grow a super nice one, you know. I'm not a big oil fan. I'm kind of like, do you like lotion all, rubbing lotion? I don't like. I don't know. I don't mind it if I'm dressed up and you're staying all prim and proper, but I also like playing with it. You know what I mean? Just kind of makes me think a little harder sometimes. Ah. So what else we got? I don't know if Tony's gonna jump on. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Let me swipe that off right there. Yeah, a good old track bull. Boy, those things sound gnarly when they hit. Those are some crazy things. But yeah, you gotta, these are all good comments. Hey, we got 6 likes, by the way. But it's all good stuff. On that whole, like I said, track. I wonder if Evan, do you got a laser by chance? I mean, because if anybody knows, put it in the comments. I don't think you can. That was my problem. I don't know. I guess you can measure. No, how do you do that? I get spoiled. I'm so spoiled by a laser because I'm thinking when I level my track. So like back in the day when I have really goofy ones, I used to take a piece of angle iron, especially if it was like a 9x7, because I have 10-foot sticks of angle. So I'd stick the angle across the top, and that's how I'd get it. But you know how it is, like you're depending on like I don't know if I say cheated. I probably just didn't really. I'd use like the header. I'd check the header and go, okay, the header's level. That's true. I'd find something that was true, and then I'd go off of that, measure the track. Okay, it's here. Go over here, measure that. But I like that now I can just set it up on a tripod or set it on something, shoot that beam across, and I can measure down. I've been hooking it. I don't know why. I think it's just easier because what I was doing is I'd find like a slot or a hole or something on the track and try to line it up with that. Put it like on an angle so it's shooting, one track shooting there. And then I realized that what if, right? And I was like, I've worked in manufacturing before. I went, what if they didn't punch this the same, right? Like the stamping, something was off, probably not, but it could happen. So I went, it's probably easier just to, you know, measure down from the track, and that should keep everything good. So I just hook it on the track, look at my tape measure, and go, okay, it's 37 and 3/4. All right, go to the next one. Oh, this one's 37 and a half. So this one's got to be moved, accordingly. That seems to work out pretty good. I got people messaging me here. Trying not to let's see here. First, let's make sure you're local. If you are. I don't know. This one looks goofy, man. Something. But anything. What do you guys got? You guys got anything out there? I might have dropped too. I don't know with the Wi-Fi. I'm surprised this thing's working on the Wi-Fi. It's kind of weird how it goes and it don't, and so hopefully it didn't pause on me. I'm just messaging. So like I said, I just seen it too. We're hitting right about there. How can let's do help. So I'm experimenting. What I've done is I did a post, right? But I put a price of just $100. And the problem is that I'm getting people thinking that's going to be the opener. It's not the opener. That's like labor, and it's so I'm having a little bit. I got to change that post settings or the verbiage on a little bit. So I'm gotta, how it goes. I'm experimenting. I'm experimenting for you guys. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to think like a newbie. And how do you get started? How do you get things rolling? So it's Hondo. It's a Hondo. I'm still here, like I said. I haven't seen no comments. Did this thing lock up on me? Let me know. Like I said, shoot something on there, anything. Let me know how your day's going. What's the weather like? Are you glad Trump made it in? Were you going for Harris? You think the economy, the Fed lowered interest rates again? Ooh, ain't doing much for the housing part of it though. I think those went up. It's one big club, and you're not part of it, right? I gotta make this. Would like, let's do from box. I think this thing froze on me. This thing was, you guys were throwing comments and now it just went to blank. Am I still on here? Can anybody throw anything? Just anything. Put a number 1. Let me know you're still there. I don't trust this phone. This is old phone. So, oh, man, I was just store. Of course, I forgot the location. That's important because people can be outside of the realm, and you can't go outside of the realm. You know what I mean? It gets too nuts out there. Doot 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 doot. Gotcha. So we know the threshold is right there. Bingo. All right, let's see what's going on here. So the MVP, Evan. Rich has got the food coloring. All that good stuff it's showing. Oh, goodness. Of course, it pops up on both phones. Maybe. Maybe we go that far. Maybe we don't. So let's see here. Well, I figured, like I said, unless anybody, I don't even think I'm on this thing right now. Oh no. You're live. Now I'm live. I don't know what happened. I think I lost my comments too. It's so weird doing it on this phone. Oh no. Oh no, I lost my comments. Chat, community, top messages, sweet, sure. And I lost it. Did I screw this thing all up? I think I screwed it up. I don't know how to go back to whatever. Anywho, if somebody can throw up a comment, that'd be awesome because they are totally gone. I don't even know if I can see them. I don't know why they're not showing up now. What I did. Chats. What is a plus? Let's see. Start. I can start a poll. Ooh, I should have done that poll. Did anybody see? I put a post out there. I was trying to see. Let me jump back. I'm going to jump over here since Tony hasn't messaged me and see if I can see the chats on here. So I'm not leaving you guys high and dry. Ken. Ooh, Ken's on there. That's cool. Let's go here. Let's go ADABLE. Go door. Yes. And something. Says we're live. We're going to see if we got any chat Samutskis. Oh, shoot, man. You guys are blowing this thing up. Yeah, it's not showing on this one, but I'm gonna dig through them. I got you. I got you over here. So I apologize. This is not even, somebody's rich as a guy, and they're not even a full moon. What's up? What's up? Oh, Rusty jumped in. Oh, somebody's tearing it up. Rob's in there. He's been deleting. I'm so sorry. I left you guys hanging. Like I said, I don't see nothing on here. I'm so sorry. So unprofessional. So where did we leave? We got throw cable yesterday. Customer there. Got pictures. Okay. Tanner was there. We got, yes, it was down something. Eric's got the trains. We did talk about that. We got doors could possibly be level. Food coloring. We got that from Mr. Rich. Tell my cousin. Oh, what's the guy here? It says, I'm told there's an opener there. Skylink. Okay, I meant to mention cousin. Yep, got that part. Bingo, bolt. I had tried to burn out. I haven't tried to burn out. I think that's where we almost stopped. Oil, the beard. That's where we stopped. That's where I lost you. So Eric Scott. I've never had a DC operator overheat. Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I remember as a kid, if you would run was that Soyux? I don't know how to say it. 72, 10 to 15 times and over, it would overheat. These ones are gone. Rob was in there. Is this Eddie? Eddie's in a timeout. Naughty. What's up, guys? Rusty, hope you're doing good. Eric's got, hey, Rusty, Skylink, Canadian? Interesting. Is it? I don't think so, since seeing them here in the U.S., unless they're shipped from there, right? They are just as bad as or worse than the Extreme. Ooh, the Extreme garage door opener. Those are gnarly, man. Those things give me the shivers. It is sad day, guys. Dave, I figured I would give you the first chance, but I have decided I'm selling my 4x4 Duramax van. Oh no, man! I wish I was hardcore into it. I'd be buying that. Thing's a sweet looking van. So I will be listing it this weekend. Oh man, make sure I know. I see the post there, Tanner. I want to see that baby before it goes. It's a sweet ride. I'm just wondering too, in case something gets bumped off here. Is there any reason, Tanner? Or is it just, you need something bigger, just too many miles, too much, what's the reason? Not even a full moon. Eric's got bad choice, Tanner. Rich has got 2 seconds up, measure. Get 2 sections up, measure. Okay. Bottom. Oh, that's right. Yep, get the door level, then measure up for the track. Yep, see? Can't think of it all. Thanks, Rich. One movie. Evan's got Canadian. We have 2 Skylink brands you can buy. Skylink and Canadian. Menards rebrand similar to how Craftsman gets their owners. Mastercraft is the other name. Junky junk. Kevin says level, bottom section, measure, top vertical, make sure the same. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you for mentioning that, because like I said, yes, that is another way. Probably if I was there doing it, I would have thought, like, yeah, this is how you can also do it. Like I said, I can't think. That's why I love you guys in the comments, because you throw that stuff in there. Bingo. Says I got a 22, okay, Duramax truck, and with all the commercial work I do, van does not love trailers. Okay, lifts and doors, just too much before I beat on it. Too much, it's worth too much to kill it. I get it. It's kind of funny because like what Tanner? What's yours? Is it a 3/4 ton or a 1 ton for the van? So we actually I found out like the 3/4 tons they weren't enough. So we basically always do 1 tons. Those work pretty good. I tell you, if you ever go to a cutaway van though. Dude, the cutaway van was game changer. So much more room in there. It was amazing. It was night and day. I mean, if you're gonna do commercial, I would do a cutaway van. But here's the trick. I don't know if it's with what do they call them, the canap or whatever, the boxes they put on there. I can't think of what it's called. Somebody will put it in there. But anyways, the box they put on there, they're kind of a little bit longer, right? I think mine inside was 10 foot, and it had a hell of a nice bumper, for a working man, nice bumper, nice big bumper to step on with your boots, get up inside. But I think with them extending it, right, I could be wrong with this. I'm not a car expert in this part of it. But the towing of it, a single axle sucked. The guys are still even questionable. Like I know Cap is still questionable with towing. So it makes the front end feel a little light. So what I would do for the next round is I would actually get a dually. I'd get a dually because the cutaway vans, that box they put on there is already heavy enough. By the time you put an angle in there, and you can put a lot of stuff in there. It's got a nice solid steel floor. I definitely would do a dually. I always wanted to try a dually, especially when you got to pull a scissor lift and stuff like that. I don't even know what that would be considered. It'd probably be over a 1 ton. You know what I mean? I don't know. But just something to think about. Eric says, my supervisor told me. Oh, a gruesome story where a fat rat cut up in half. The sprocket. Ooh, I never thought about that. I could see that happening. And commercial op, he said blood was dripping into the control box. That's gross, man. I think I'm okay to jump off this for a second. Let me jump off a second. Make sure I got nothing from. I see somebody sent me something. Blow this back up here. We'll go like this. Bada bing, bada boom. And like I said, I don't know if Papa Tony's in the house. So I said, Papa Tony, if you want to try to do something, let me know. I'm just sitting here. We're playing around here, having a little fun. Still me. It says I'm muted. Am I still muted? I'm not muted. Hopefully this is old. I can listen actually. Let me listen to mine. We're playing around here, having a little fun. Yeah, we're live still. We're good, I believe. You're back. Unless that was my end. No, I jumped off, I think. This is probably old. What are we posting on Facebook? Opener install? Opener install. So Mr. Caleb is kind of running a little bit solo now. So I'm trying to drum up some stuff for him. We got one, still on one. Like Trump. Perfect. So before I forget, and like I said, bring this back up, Rusty, if we're still into this. So Rusty brought something to my attention when I was messaging. We were emailing. And this probably be good. I'd like to hear from everybody, but you guys let me know what your opinion is on it. I mentioned to the wife, I said, what if, now I haven't really done this. I've always thought about it, but I've always gotten a lot of blowback. Oh, I can't do it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm always like, I think you could. What if? So here's a scenario. Rusty showed me a picture where the Zamboni was, right? And I was looking at that door and I was telling Rusty, I said, now you need to, as jokingly, right? I said, now you need to get them a part of the preventative maintenance program. You know what I mean? So you don't have these emergencies. Now, here's the thing. Some of the customers that we've put on the preventative maintenance program, I have seen a huge, how do I say it? Decrease of service calls from them, which in a nutshell seems counterintuitive, but it's actually been good. So it keeps us from having these emergency, like some of the DPWs are notorious for it, right? It's always on a Friday at 5 o'clock, and but as we've done maintenance programs, I've noticed that you don't have that violent, and then it's a nice thing for when you're slow. The guys can go out and do that stuff, do the preventative maintenance, right? And that's a nice little filler. It's not a lot of money or anything, but it's a nice filler. And then they're looking at it and they're also giving estimates and saying, well, cables are bad. We should probably replace this. You got a bearing bad. It's a really, really good thing, right? So what I'd like to kind of ask is why don't we Why don't we? So I'm sure some of you have it, DTE or consumers or your energy company or whoever it is, right? They will offer, I think it, whatever, it's 25, 36, it could be whatever, right? And I thought, why don't we do that? Like, why don't we start offering a preventative maintenance program for customers and think like the big boys, right? Think like the big boys that now, right? You got a continuous stream of money coming in. And then what if we offered, right? Said, well, if you get part of our preventative maintenance program, what if what we do is we cover everything? So if you break a spring, we cover it. If a roller goes bad, we cover it. Maybe in my head, I tell myself we do two preventative maintenance a year, but I'm sure you could do just one and probably get away with it as long as you're diligent about if you see something you need to do it. And I'm talking like normal wear and tear, right? So, and I thought, well, if you set it for enough, if it's 25, 45, 50, whatever, right? Maybe you do a square footage of the door. We go by square footage. So if your door is this size, we go by that. That's what you're going to pay per door. But think of the convenience about how nice that would be for the shop owner, for whoever, right? And maybe you tell them, say, look, we guarantee we'll get out there that day or maybe the next day, or whatever you want to do for a pro. But what I'm getting at is that if you think about it, right? If you did the math and you think about how long garage door springs last and all that stuff, if you were to do, X amount of dollars from that customer, you'd probably make more money, right? And the nice thing is now you got a steady stream coming in, and you got to do it once, but you do it at your convenience. Say, look, we do one per year, and maybe you try to do it like in a 3 month window towards the whatever. But I really think about that, and I just go, that'd be a nice revenue coming in, because I know even for us, like the preventative maintenance is a nice something as a filler for the guys to keep them with a paycheck and keep things money, and it's good for the customer. But I thought, what if we turned it up a notch and said, you know what, why don't you? And then that way, right? You think about from the business side, from the customer side, now they just got a fixed rate. There's no volatility, right? They break springs. That's $1,200. Crap. You know what I mean? You know how that goes. And then there's gonna be a shaft that's all chewed up. There's bearings. There's always all this big thing. But if you were to go through it, and yes, you're gonna eat it on springs, but I'm talking about normal wear and tear, right? So your springs are probably your biggest one. But obviously you have something in there that if they smash into it, if it's not normal wear and tear, we don't cover it. But now you're part of that system. The money is flowing. You're in that system. Also, more likely they smash into it, they're going to call you because you're the guy that's in the Rolodex. You're the guy that they're already writing the checks to. Yeah, we had a boo-boo. Maybe that's your time to come in and go, well, now we're going to replace the door, or we'll just do sections only. But I do see a big improvement when you do preventive maintenance on the garage doors. It's just like changing oil in a car, right? I mean, it helps a lot. You know what I mean? When you catch things before they snap. Let me just double check on here, make sure I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing from Papa Tony. What's up, Seth? This is working fine. Just talk, my dude. Here is one. Am I gonna be mad? I'm gonna be mad, moderator. You need the blessings, don't you? Let me know, Evan, if you want to be a moderator. We'll bring you into the group. I went to jump too far. I jumped too far. Son of a gun. Still, you're muted. It says you're back. Oh, yes, still on. Where was this Seth guy? There he was. Gonna be mad. He says, Seth, we can all see previous comments. You're good. Awesome. Rusty's got number one. Trump 2024. Are you a tradesman in the garage door business? Eric says, testing. Whoops, hit the wrong button again. Ellie says, hey. I'm carpenter asking me. Oh, it says I'm a carpenter. Ask me anything. So I bet this guy too. I'm not a carpenter. I am just a garage door guy. Tanner, Rich has got Tanner time for a box truck. You know, it's I gotta bring this up, right? I gotta bring this up. So let me pull up the sleeves for this one. So I bought a box truck. Now I screwed up a little bit. I didn't do enough research. I bought this box truck. I forget even what brand it was, but there was only like 2,600 of these things ever made, like 3,600. It was a ridiculous number. It had a lift gate on the back. It was sweet, dude. That was really nice. Lift gate was really nice. It was a manual, had a Cummins in it. I think it was a 24 valve. Sweet Cummins, purred like a kitten, man. It was a dually, nice truck. I think it was that. Yeah, it was a cab over. Nice maneuvering, you know. But for whatever reason, when you get in that class of truck, the plates on it were like 300 and some change. And this is many years ago. I was like, what? My wife comes back. She's like, yeah, the plates were like 300 and something. I'm like, it's like a used vehicle. Like, how can it be? She's like, commercial. Insurance was more. I took it in to do an inspection on it, just go over it, look it over, right? I had to take it to the big boy trucks place, right? Not a normal mechanic. It was like 700 some change for them to do absolutely nothing, just look it over. I was like, great. Um, I remember I was trying to I was trying to get the tire off of it, and they didn't even sell stuff at the or at Harbor Freight that was big enough. So I had to order everything online and have it shipped to me. And this is before like Amazon and all that kind of stuff. So you got to really watch those box trucks, man. Those box trucks, they are nice, but like I said, but that's why I like the Cutaway. The Cutaway was still in the class of, now I can't say for a dually. I don't know what weight limit we're getting in, but it still sat into like the Chevys, 35. I don't know if they got a 4,500, but you know what I mean. They sat in that category. So then they sat kind of low for getting all your tools in and out. Um, the box truck, the problem you did have to get up there and a lot. We were kind of doing a lot of fencing and stuff. So like the lift gate worked really good. Like I remember we had a smaller dumpster here at the shop. So we got 13 likes. Thank you guys for the likes. But we pulled the dumpster. We'd like put it on the back lift gate, like when we were doing like a bunch of like concrete bags, so we could just throw the garbage. Like I'm always thinking about less handling, right? So we just throw the garbage right in the garbage can. We got back shop. We just pull it back out, and then the garbage guy could take it. And so that was great. Uh, but the tires on it were a lot harder because it's a commercial vehicle. Now, obviously, you could change tires, but it sat up high. It definitely drove different in the wintertime. It was a little nerve wracking. I'm not going to lie. Being a stick, you always had to watch guys. But like I said, the box truck, just a lot of money. So you got to watch it. So, but I'm glad Rich, like I said, it might work. There's a lot of room in them. I mean, we could definitely take doors in there and we could lay them down flat. It was roomy. It was very roomy. It just wasn't compartmentalized very good. It seemed like, where that Cutaway, I could pull up to the door, I could pull in, or I could pull down. Like I had like mini tailgates. I loved it. Everything flopped down. I could put all my tools right there and work. And it was the best vehicle I ever had. What's Eric got? It says I have Mastercraft heat gun, but I don't know how it got here to the U.S. But some jackass stole it. There it is. Rich has got is it Knapp? I can't say it right. Gang boxes. They make everything for trucks. It was nice. You know what was nice too is when I think about it, it had a slide in the back. So you could slide the latch in the back and it would lock all the compartments on the side, which was really nice. So if you're gonna go into like the box store or something, you don't have to worry about people dropping your doors and stealing stuff. Now Cap's truck, his is actually remote. It's his he can lock it with a remote. It locks all his doors up on his, so it's pretty nice. Do do do. What's that I got? Master. This is Eric. He says the master tools are great. I would prefer it. Genie made their openers through. Oh, Tanner says, nah, here in Iowa, we need trucks. He says, too much egg in commercial. Ooh, too commercial work. It's a 2007 6.6 extended with the 4x4 conversion, 121 with full shelf build inside. Ooh, backup camera? Nice. I like the backup camera. That's always nice. What did I miss here? There it is. It's got aftermarket Bluetooth and door speakers, 4-inch straight pipe. Ooh, EGR delete. I do hate to sell it. Wish I just make a service van, but I have just found out over a few years. I've had it in the truck. Oh, did I miss something in trucks? The service bodies and ladder racks just work better for us. It's a great van, nothing wrong. Like I said, just better to find better home. Press my luck with it. Nice. Well, at least you gave it a shot. I mean, like I said, I'm telling you, though, keep your eyes out, Tanner. I don't think, unfortunately, the cutaway vans, they might have some out there. I'm sure they're really pricey. I was lucky when I got my cutaway van. I found it on Craigslist. I found it for $5,200. I think it just had under 200,000 on it. It was like 160,000 miles on it or something. I went and seen the guy. These things were going for all of 8 grand plus at the time. So for finding one for $5,200, I was like, steal, I'll take it. Had good tires on it, good brakes. It ran. I mean, everything worked. So I took it. I took a gamble with it. The reason I did it was because our one of our competitors that's a couple towns over, they use one, and I needed something bigger. And I've realized with age, I don't like getting in and out of things as much as I used to. And with a van, it was a lot of crouching over. I would even, if I could find one that was the right price or whatever, I'd even get one that has a little bit of extension on it for the roof. Mine was only about like I don't know, 12 inches above the body of the front cab. I would like it still if it was another, couple feet taller. Those are sweet because they also got more in it. But like I said, if you could find one of those like a dually that is 4-wheel drive, I mean that would be. I just love that the compartments for the most part I could get to all the stuff on the outside. And then my bigger stuff, typically for me, I'm a little bit different than Tanner. Like we would put gate operators in there. I could literally like I could sit in there. I'd sit on a bucket in the van with the weather, and I could literally wire up the opener and get stuff prepped. I had garage door openers. I'd do the same thing. I could literally sit in there, and I loved it because uh, it had the grates over the windows. The windows were a little dirty, so I kind of liked it that way though, because once in a while I had to go back there and use the bathroom. So, and I mean, I mean, plenty of room. You know what I mean? Plenty of room to use the bathroom if you had an emergency. I just liked it. But I ran. I was running mostly. Well, at that time, I was running solo. You know what I mean? So I was always by myself, typically. But I like to have the compartment so I could close the back off so I didn't have to listen to anything back there. But for the most part, everything's on the outside, so it's quiet. Just a very humble van. I love the stairway into the van, into the cab. It's got that little pocket, so you could the slush and your dirt and everything kind of stays down there. Um, it just felt like home. I really miss, if I just had money to sit there and let that thing rot away in the field, I would, because that thing was a beautiful. I love that van. That van just it ran good. It was fun. Do 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 do. I think it was one of those. You know how you get a vehicle, you just never feel like you feel like you're at home with. That was the vehicle, man. I could be sitting in a blizzard and I just windshield wipers and it was like I'd be like, I'm not going out there. I'm nice and toasty. I'd open up the back slider. I'd jump in the back. I'd be getting some parts or doing something, wiring up something, do a keypad or something. Um, while I was working at a job, or if I wanted to take a break, it was like home away from home. I had clothes in there for changing because there was just so much room. What's it got? How do you feel about a step van? My supervisor is considering buying a retired. FedEx fan. What is it? It's a Freightliner with a 5.9 Cummins. I'm not sure of the year. So the only thing I know is there's some videos out there you might want him to check out on that, Eric, is that I've seen a lot of them too. It ain't just one twosies here. I've watched 6 videos on it. Sometimes FedEx is notorious for turning those mileage back on them. They put different clusters in there. Even a guy I watched that hauls them, he was even the guy that he was picking them up from says, "Oh yeah, these aren't the accurate mileage on them. They put different clusters in them or whatever." So that would make me really nervous about buying a FedEx. I'm sure it would work, but it just, I guess it all depends on what you're doing, right? Everybody's situation is different. You know, for me, I couldn't imagine driving a FedEx truck to a residential job. You know, with the tree branches, and we sometimes can get in certain city areas, you know, where they got the brick walls. That's your only way in because they got a berm or whatever, you know, the earth or their yard set up that way. So I'm always like, I like to stay as nimble as possible. You know what I mean? That's why even when I was, I used to think, I was like, well, I'll just use my truck with nothing on it. You know, I'll just use my truck and I'll have my enclosed trailer. And my enclosed trailer had everything on it, right? Everything you can need. It's got torches, it's got a vise. I mean, but what I found out was like I would take that van or take that cargo trailer to the big jobs, right? If I was doing a big fence job, because it was nice to have the relief, right? Get out of the sun, take a break, cool off. I had chairs in there so I could just sit and just hang out, you know, with a couple guys if I needed to. That worked good. But when you had to do if you do, so like for me, you know, from switching to we're doing commercial to we're doing fencing to now we're on a gate operator to now we're doing residential, I need something that's kind of compact. You know what I mean? Like I don't like worrying about having to go down somebody's driveway and going, oh my gosh, look at all those beautiful trees. You know, they planted it that way. I'm gonna smack everyone. Or I gotta park on the road. And the thing that you gotta remember for the future, like that oddball truck I bought, you know, your mechanic list goes way down. So you might have to take it to somebody farther, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things when you got a Chevy, right? It's like nobody has an excuse. Every backyard mechanic knows how to work. So everybody knows what a Chevy is. You know what I mean? And it's a Chevy 2500. It's a Chevy 3500. I mean, it's like you cannot not take this somewhere and somebody go, oh man, I can't work on that. Where am I even going to get parts? What do you mean? It's a Chevy. Every AutoZone in America's got parts for this. It's a Chevy. You know what I mean? Or a Ford, you know what I'm saying? So you want something that's kind of, you know, I don't think I had too many problems with the cutaway van because it was basically the same platform. It's just basically an empty frame when they put that cutaway piece on it. So that wasn't too much of a problem. I'm sure exhaust, if I had to do exhaust, they might have to, you know, you just take it to an exhaust shop and they'll probably form their own. But I don't think they make kits. Well, maybe it's still platformed off the line. So maybe. Do 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 do. Rusty says, "What would you charge to make it worth covering the door?" Rich says, $89.99, 3 easy payments. I don't know. That's why I kind of want to, you know, I wanted to pick your brain, and it's something too that you guys, you know, it might be somebody has to email me or say, hey, we're already doing this, or we're thinking about doing this, or like, what do you think? You know, the comments maybe I might miss it. It might not be the place to really discuss it, but the person that I know that thinks about it a lot, that I believe, is Rusty. I think I bet his wheels are turning on it. And so I just thought, and that's why I thought, well, maybe just do the square foot. You know what I mean? Because what's the difference? Not insulated, insulated. Hinges are hinges. The rollers are rollers. You see a cable, you just take care of it for them, right? But I know for me, one thing I noticed in business that I never took account for was the variables, the fluctuation, right? That's why sometimes, like, you know, this is just my opinion. the newer vehicles are, it's better to have a payment, right? There's other stuff that goes into that, but it's better to have a payment because it's covered under warranty. You make the payment, right? You have a fixed payment. But when I had the older vehicles, I ran into I think it was like in February. The wife tells me she goes, I've been talking about a new vehicle, and I'm like, yeah. She goes, I think we can afford one, and I'm like, yeah, why? She's like, I'm looking at QuickBooks or online. She's like, our profit and loss, and she's like, in maintenance right now. She's like, we have in vehicle repair we have over $10,000, and I'm like, I think at the time we were only running like 3 or 4 vehicles. I dropped from the 7, and so I was just like, we got $10,000 in repairs. I'm like, no wonder the mechanic's stopping by on a Saturday when I'm out cutting the grass and brings me a box of donuts. And he's like, here, you're our best customer. And I love him. He's a great dude. But I'm just like, this guy's stopping by bringing me donuts? Like, what the hell? And I didn't always take stuff down there and stuff. So it was nice, even if I could have leased, I would have leased. Because now you just have a fix. And then if there is a problem, whoa, take it in. It's covered under warranty. It should be under the powertrain. You know what I mean? Blah, 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 which is always, right? That brand new van I had, that electrical problem, right? They were trying to whack me for whatever, $300 or something because I had some electrical because a mouse chewed it. But I didn't have the time. Otherwise, I went down there and said, show me. I need to see this. But then I learned that the newer vehicles have wires in them that are made out of soy. So what do mice? It's like soy oils. They like chewing on the wires. It's horrible. Can't win. Tanner says, get a door or ladder on top of the FedEx truck. No thanks. Well, hopefully you'd put it in there. Like I said, I guess in my mind, I think if I used a FedEx truck, if I was just doing strictly commercial, probably, because commercial always has semis coming in there. If you need more room for like bigger stuff. Maybe you got torches in there, you got a vise in there. Maybe, but like any kind of residential. And then how is that thing going to tow? That's a pretty long platform on there. And what I think, even with that cutaway van, what happened is that because the back end's extended, it's more leverage, right? So that's why when you haul with it, it's tipping up the front, and the front feels light. So that's why I thought maybe a dually maybe could take a little more and feel more solid with the dually tires. Might just make you feel better going straight down the road. But like I said, with a FedEx, that's a whole different other combination. So I don't even know if that thing would be like, I wouldn't bank on towing. You know what I mean? You're gonna make a hitch and all. No, 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 no. And then the resale, depending on what you buy it for, if you can, I'd buy it for a song and a dance, and then probably go. It might turn into storage. Rusty Rich, that's too low. If you spring broke, you would lose money. So Rusty's saying on there you'd lose money. But like I said, what's a spring, right? A spring normally, I'm just saying you get, it's 8. So I don't know, you'd have to do the math. You think if it's 8 or 10 or 15 years later, a spring breaks, and let's say you are charging $89. Let's say that's a month. What would that add up to, right? You know what I'm saying? And then that's a steady stream of income, and you're giving them preventative maintenance. So you might, hopefully, I know you can't do it for spring. Springs just go. Hopefully you don't start it, the plan, and two weeks later the spring breaks, or maybe that's something you have in there that we just don't cover. Maybe we don't cover the spring for the initial startup. Once we replace them, there are springs, we start it and we cover those or something. You know what I mean? Something. I just know there's something going on with Precision Garage Door, right? That they do that whole thing. They're a bunch of sales people. They go in there and they tell Miss Daisy that well, we're gonna change your spring. We're gonna put a lifetime spring, and they upcycle a little bit or whatever. I think this is how it works, right? From what I understand, they upcycle it. And then they say, well, we need to change all the rollers and that too, but we're going to do a lifetime warranty on it. And Mrs. Daisy's like, oh, okay. And how much is that going to be? Well, for this 8x7 door, you're looking at $900. And for us, we go, holy crap, you're pretty damn close to a whole new door, But for Miss Daisy, she's like, well, it's covered for life at least. I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I'm going to live the rest of my years out here. Blah 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 blah. And there's obviously those stipulations. So they're making huge more money though on that. But I just thought if you just set up a plan for the customer, that might be kind of nice. You know what I mean? It's like some people obviously do that plan for the microwaves and their furnaces. So why don't we start doing that? There you go. Thanks for 14. We got 14 thumbs up. Awesome. Let me see if I can see. Jump on here. Bam. Okay, Rusty is too low. Rusty, for me, it's just easier to charge a premium and go when the customer calls. That is true. But what I'm getting at is I'm trying to think of like, how do I say it? So years ago, right, I used to think, right, it was always chase, 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 chase. When we started doing preventative maintenance, I realized that whole thing went way down. No emergency calls, no Fridays, no late evenings. Not that it still doesn't have, but it's gone way down with our loyal, good customers. And what I'm getting at is that, like, for us, no advertising. We have no money in advertising. It's all word of mouth. It's all local, commercial. But also, how could you get it where now you got a steady stream? It's all about cash flow, right? You know how this goes. If you don't have cash flow, things start drying up pretty fast. So, but if you got them on a plan, at least you got cash flow coming in. You're in their system. You're providing them a good service. It's just something to consider, like I said. But you know how it is. You go out there and do a good job, you never get rewarded, right? Because you go out there and do a good job, you never hear from them again. You won't hear from them again. Sometimes, 3, 5, 10, 15 years later, because whatever you've done a good job. But we know in the back of our head, at least in mine, we know stuff is wearing out. There's bearings that are crooked, that are grinding, that if we caught it before, it would grind the shaft and the cable and the drum would drop, and now the door goes crooked and now the panel gets all, you know what I mean? Like, those are things we could sell them on to say, look, I can save you. You've seen what happened here. I can save you. We need to get you on a preventative maintenance program. And like I said, instead of like for us, like if we go in there and you just do something for, whatever it is, 120 an hour, 175 an hour for one guy, or blah, blah, blah. If you got something, but you said, look, you do this monthly, we're going to cover this. We cover all this. And then obviously you're going to be incentivized too, right? To go through the door. You don't want a cable breaking on you. So if you see a cable that's questionable, you got to make that judgment call. But you go, we're going to change that cable. The customer's been paying for 3 months or 6 months, and they're, a cable's not a lot. Got some labor in there. They're taken care of. They feel all warm and fuzzy. But now, like I said, it's consistent. I just try to think about it as, because for me, like my rentals bring me cash flow. You know what I mean? And I don't have to basically mess with them, right? You get a property manager. It's different. I know it's a little different, but it's cash flow. So what if we were to start doing that, even with the residential? Some people are going to say no, but some people understand, right? Like, so for me, for instance, right, with my rentals, I need somebody to go around and change out the filters. It seems petty, right? But I need somebody to go around and change the filters, because sometimes they won't do it. They get clogged. They're inefficient. They wreck the furnaces. I need somebody to go around and check. I need somebody to go around and do rodent control, right? I need that. I've even thought about, I was honestly thinking about having my daughter start doing it, because I think it's a good, there's people that sell it. I think it'd be a good business though. Because I know for me, with me, I even some of the houses I got, I just go, I need somebody to come around and charge me whatever, $30, $60, $120 a month. And they just come around, check traps. They make sure everything's good. I just don't got time for it. Rich has got after 6 years. Eric's got a cutaway van is like a step van, but it's more like a U-Haul. Where they're a standard classic van with a box on the back. So Eric, I might be a little confused. A cutaway van is like a step van. So let me see if I can look it up real quick. I don't think I have a fresh picture. Let's go like this. We'll go like this. We'll go Google. And I think they pull up pretty cutaway. Whoops, cutaway van. I mean, they that's a pretty loose terminology. Obviously, you know, they got, I don't know if we're gonna be able to see this. They got this one that's like a box, right? What I'm talking about, this looks like a little bit more modern. Let me see if I can find one that was like the old Ford. Here's a Chevy. Here's a Chevy. I don't know if it'll click on it, gets bigger. Maybe. Yeah, baby. Here we go. This puppy right here. It's got the compartments on the side. See, this is mine, but I'd almost like a little higher. What the fudge? You know, it's got that. This one got ladder rack? Yeah, it's got ladder rack. Ladder rack works pretty good. Let's see if I can click on. Oh, that back there. Oh, I miss you. I miss you. That step back there, you can't see it probably, but the step on it. Oh, man, you know, when you're wearing big boots, I mean, you could climb on that thing. Your feet aren't slipping. It just slipped on there so good. I think this one might have a hitch on it. It's got armrest. Oh, whoops. Let's go back to that armrest. Armrests are nice. I like armrests. I like cruise control too. It's got the pockets. Love the pockets. There you go. There's a good picture. See that right there? That was my tailgate. That was my mini tailgate. I pull up on the side right there. Get all in your compartments. Man. Oh, that back end. That normally, what the hell? This floor don't look like it's a diamond plate. It looks like a cheaper one. But anyways, they got the nice grates for the windows so stuff falls or whatever. This stuff up here is compartments. Man, these things were sweet. Like I said, a little low. Oh, right here. See, this is a nice shelf up here for putting stuff. And then what was great is there was actually a compartment back here they could open from the backside. So you could actually like stick your like torsion tubes and stuff. I mean, I think it only would take 9 or 10 foot, but you could stick like angle. And really, I don't know the angle. I still liked having like in a tube or whatever because I don't want to listen to it rattle. You know, interior's nothing normal. The Chevy. This one, oh yeah, this baby's got cruise control. Look at that. Good job taking pictures. What else? This has got speakers, real plain cup holders. Perfect. Love it. Air conditioning. Motors crammed. Not fun to work on. Most things aren't. Got good tires. I think that's really about it. But this is a cutaway van I was talking about. Real nimble. I don't know if they make those in 4-wheel drive, but it was great. This one's a 3500 rear wheel drive, 21. It says 21.99, so 22. This one even says high price. How many miles are on this? This is a Caledonia. Ooh, this has got 218 on it. All right, back to this. Let's see here. So weird now I can't see myself. Oh well, I at least can see the comments. Clothing manufacturer warranty is 3 years on springs. Interesting. Evan's got, sure, I'll be moderator. He says there was live. We had no moderators. Oh, snap. Let me see. Evan, I don't know if I can do it on this one because I'm just watching like a normal person. Let's see if I can do it. Add. 10 view, see messages, and hide. Put user in timeout. I think that's what I can manage. Block. Change chat. Okay. Right. Boom. There you go. I think you're good. I think I did it. I think I did it, Ma. Came right after the last moderator. Oh man. Gotta watch those people. So Kevin's got, I think it's more valuable with residential. Too many variables on commercial. We considered lifetime residential springs with conditions of year. What is this? Yearly TP. Was this TP or PMs? Problem is, we'd hire someone just to do the PMs basically. It's weird because we had a guy that came. He said he got fired from the place he was working at because he could do preventative maintenance forms. He didn't turn out to be very good. Should have been a clear indication. Yep, that was a bummer. It says the zombie door is rear mounted springs and wears through cables. Ooh. With a cable stop pulley. You can lubricate it, but it's wet from ice. Yes. Yes. Maybe too. So I had to do this, Rusty. I forget what I think I got it from American. I thought I seen one of their things around here. American Garage Door, or whatever it was. They're in Minnesota. I think it was Minnesota. I was buying. I'd buy stainless steel. It's a little pricier, but it's not astronomical. But I was using it for the car washes. I'd buy the stainless steel cable, and then I'd buy it's like a copper swedge almost or something. And that held up a lot better. It lasted a lot longer. So maybe you want to consider carrying that. Maybe. Otherwise, you might be able to try like. I tell you what, I think the Surface Shield is better than the fluid film. I did a test spot on my vehicle up here in the crappy snow and everything, and that stuck a lot better. It's called Surface Shield. I think you can get it at Home Depot. It's made for like underbody or just coating things, and it seemed better than the fluid film. But if you fluid film or Surface Shield, I'd probably Surface Shield. I bet if you Surface Shield that cable towards the bottom, spray the crap out of it above it too, so it kind of soaks into it. It might help it last longer with the corrosion, because we got that too up with the DPWs and their salt trucks. Tanner's got, can you put a 20-foot door in a cutaway van? Ooh, yeah, I don't think so. Or haul 10, 15 pounds with a van? No, you're probably not going to do that. Like I said, you might have to. You probably. What would I get if I was hauling something like that? I tell you what, I'd probably get a stake truck. I'd probably get a flat. I don't know. I'd get a flatbed truck. Because what's the one truck haul? I'm trying to think. I just get a roll off truck. Just get like a hydraulic, get a dumpster truck, and then you can just that way what you can do is you can put all your stuff on that flatbed, right? Strap it all down, and then you can drop it off for the guys, right? Because it'll hydraulically come off the flatbed with the rollers. Drop that puppy off, and then it's ground level. Drop that puppy off, but I'm also surprised too. On some of that, Tanner, I know there's a lot of variables. Can you get the stuff delivered? I know it's hard because sometimes it's in the way, things like that. I just remember when we were doing that one job up north, and all of a sudden it dawned on me. I was like, oh my God. I was like, we were getting small doors too. We were getting like 14 by 14s and stuff, but we had like, how many doors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there was 7 doors. And I was like, I don't want to drive those all the way up there and touch them again. Like, I want them dropped off at the job site. And I remember last minute I called the vendor, and they're like, we could probably do it. It's going to be tough to fit it in. It's going to be $75. I'm like, $75. I'll pay double. I'll pay you $300. Like, you know how much time that's going to take me? You drop it off at the shop. I got to re-put it back on the truck or trailer. I got to haul it up there. I got to deal with DOT, the cops, all that crap. No, I'm good. Like, I just take it up there for me. I'll meet you up there. And that's what I would do a lot of times. That's why I always, in the business, I always stayed behind, right? The guys would always go out. I'd always do like the emergency calls that would come in. I would do the truck driver, because now it seems like it's even worse. Truck driver decides, he's gonna come, and I am gonna be there in like an hour. Okay, so you run up there real quick, help them unload, all that jazz. Or Rich has got the sprinters. You can get get a dolly, and you can stand in them, but very expensive. Yeah, that's always real hard with the money aspect of this stuff. It's like, how far do you go? So like for Tanner, like I said, the truck might be fine. They're cheaper. The people know how to work on them. Everybody's situation is different. You know what I mean? Like I said, for us, like Tanner, he deals with a lot of big stuff. Like, honestly, it's either like the stuff's got to be directly shipped for what he deals with, because I sure as hell, I ain't getting no younger, man. So I sure as hell am not touching that crap any more than I have to. So I would be buying semi tarps, and I would be getting that stuff dropped off. I'd be putting skids down, whatever works the best. Get a trailer, however it works best for you. I'd be showing up at the job site. Truck shows up, stuff gets dropped off there. I'd tarp the crap, and it can be there for when the guys are there or whatever. Because like I said, that kind of stuff, I ain't touching that stuff. Like I said, you got to remember every time you. I mean, that's physical wear on your body. It's more chances for stuff to get dinged or damaged, when you're hauling it. And like I said, God forbid, what if something, like one time me and my business partner, we forgot to strap down. We had doors on top of the truck, I remember, and we had two sections just peel right off. I remember flying up in the air. We stopped traffic in both lanes. They're all staring at us. I'm like waving to them, "Come on, just go. It's fine." It was it was the old door. We were just freezing our butts off. It was super cold out. I remember everything we shot for trim would shatter the weather seal. We had to put the batteries inside the truck, leave the truck running the whole time with the heater on because the DeWalt batteries wouldn't charge. That was fun. And then when we took off, I remember my business partner, he's like eating a sandwich, and all of a sudden we're taking off in our little four cylinder, and also, whoa, what the hell was that? Look behind me, two sections laying. Oh my gosh. Of course, there's 16 footers, so they're just like spanning everything. Oh, embarrassing. Dolly. Quinn says, Rusty, Clopay Medellin upgrade is like 10 years spring warranty. Ooh. I was looking at getting the spring clamps from Amazon, but the shipping to get into Canada is, must be ridiculous, or is rape. Quinn says, so another thing too, Evan, just to think about it, I never played around it. I did it a couple times. Guys are using cable clamps, like the ones that you get at your hardware store, Tractor Supply, Family Farm. I don't know what you have up there. But those work. The only thing I didn't really get from the guys they must be keeping them upright so you can get to the nuts, right? A cable clamp, it's got it's like a U-bolt, and it's got that little base, and then you tighten it down. The only thing I don't know is are they doubling them up on commercial? That was my thing, kind of like what I was doing with the spring blocks. So that they're real cheap. You got to probably have a little bit of an assortment, I would assume. I don't know what sizes they offer in there. I never put a lot of thought into it, but I have used them, and they do work. They just felt a little foreign to me, to be honest. So it's like some of the guys were saying, like those blocks, I've literally snapped the bolts off. I've tightened them down so much I snapped them off so I don't catch nothing, because they're normally not that expensive. Obviously the shipping is where they're getting you. So like I said, but I just do cable, get the cable clamps. I go that route. Like I said, those will work, and they're cheap. You should be able to find them readily available. A lot of farmers and stuff use them. And if you don't know, let me know. Shoot me a text. Say, what are you talking about? I'll send you a picture. Never had anyone ask for I had before a customer could care less about warranties. Yeah, I don't think we get a lot of, I think I've only had one builder once, right? And of course I was throwing all the instructions away like a dum-dum. It was a new builder, should have known. And we got done with the job. I don't remember, it was like a 20 door or something, whatever. And he's like, we need all the manuals for them for all the warranties, and like, because everyone normally has like a warranty, like you register or something behind. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I threw them all in the dumpster. Of course, the dumpster got taken. And I'm like, so I had to go back, talk to the secretary. We had to get another copy of it. We got whatever. We had the manufacturer send them to us. We had copies made. Nightmare. So that's why anytime I deal with like commercial builders and that, I just save that stuff and keep it in my truck. I'll stash it behind the seat or something. So that way, if it does come up, and I give it time and make sure that last paycheck comes in that they're supposed to send you, and give that just a few more months and stuff, or maybe even a year if you want. And nobody asks about it, they get chucked, Jets' guy, he says, yeah, I think our previous salesman was really pushing it because I don't see it that much anymore. That could be. Rusty says, sounds like a salesman approach to sell doors. anything to close the deal. Just says it also comes with quiet flex hinges and nylon rollers. Ooh. I had quiet hinges. Rusty says whenever I sell, oops, I jumped on it. Of course, I jumped on it. Sounds like a salesman. What does it say? Insulated doors, but I use the 10 ball rollers. This thing is like really far behind, I think, on here. I didn't see Tony. We were gonna do something. I don't think he. Let me double check. Make sure he hasn't messaged me. No, I got a message from Mom. Love you, Mom. Doing CHI, but 10 ball rollers in CHI area. There's a compound doing 49 doormat, but sure they upcharge on recommended parts. I assume it's just something that's been kind of in my brain thinking a little bit. And when I was talking to Rusty, and I just was like, hey, you need to sell them a preventative maintenance program. It just dawned on me thinking, what if you were to offer, like I said, whatever the number had to be, at least it would be a fix. And if they don't have to worry about it, they can call and they go, you know what, it's covered. Because some people really like that. Like I said, when I've leased vehicles, I really liked it. You know what I mean? Because when I deal with my accounting and the stuff at the end of the year, it only puts half of it on your credit. So, my debt is good because then I can go buy another rental. And I like that. And it was covered. Anything happened, I just take it, whatever. They give you a rental, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes, not always. But it was nice I like that fixed. Where I don't like is when, hey, man, I think the transmission's going out. And you're like, fudge. And then you got to take it in. It's $6 grand. You're like, that sucks. And then you dump that money in. And then it's like 2 weeks later, it never fails, right? And it always happens with a full tank of gas. You ever notice that? It always happens with a full tank of gas. Then it's, hey, man, I think the rear end's going out too now. And you're like, I don't even know if this thing's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on here? It's just when it rains, it pours. Precision is the only door company on TikTok. Well, we need to change that. Sup, boys? Is it Funny Guy? That's a cool name. Rusty, I know what you're talking about, Dave. He says this is called a monthly subscription-based maintenance plan. Ooh, I like that. Of course, now it jumped on me. Sorry about that. Get back to that one. Where'd it go? Subscription-based maintenance plan. A lot of plumbers. Ooh, a lot of plumbers are doing this. Well, the thing is what I think about. Here's the thing, right? All the big boys are doing it in a sense, right? LiftMaster's trying to do it. Genie's probably doing it. You know what I mean? Like they're always trying to get your cell phone does it, right? You get a plan. Obviously, I know you get service, so it's a little different. But you think about it, and what I'm saying is like I go, wouldn't that be nice? Because there's going to be once you start if you get so many out there, some are going to use it, some aren't going to use it. So really, you're almost turning into like an insurance agent, right? Insurance companies are the best, right? I mean, they sell it, they're hoping you never, but they don't want to even pay out, right? But the thing is like, it's kind of like a gift card. At least that's how I'm thinking about. I'm really going off the cuffs here, but like those damn gift cards, right? You get a gift card, right? And then the company, the restaurant goes out of business, right? Like what was the one I just seen? I think I sent it to Rich. What was it? Like 50,000 or 50 something. It was a hell of a lot of money that they were worried that if people came and used those gift cards now that they might be going out of business or whatever, they're screwed. And I thought, those little bastards. I went, you think about it, they got that money, right? And then people lose them. They go in the junk drawer, they get lost, but they got that money, right? So in a sense, you're getting, and then you're going to go out and do a preventive maintenance. You're going to find some stuff. You know what I mean? Some stuff, maybe you doctor it up. Man, maybe the shaft and the bearing's gone bad. So you pop the shaft out. You end up moving the shaft over. It's good. It's fine. It's fine now. It's caught. Hopefully now this customer won't have to call you at 5 o'clock on a Friday, and you got to come running out there. And it just something like I said. I've been kind of thinking about it, and I just wanted to share it with you guys because I thought, well, maybe somebody might start implementing this, and it's probably not a good fit for everybody. It's just something that like for us, we're lucky. Like I said, we have to do zero advertising, so we got a lot of money saved with that. Um, Everybody's situation is different. Like I said, we're really lucky that our demographic we're at, we probably do, I would say, almost 75 to 80% of all the commercial in our area. So we cover them. Um, so what if we were also offering this, even if it was to the residential people, and then that's just another nice cash flow. It's convenient for them because now they don't have the ups and downs and the spikes, um, and they're covered. And then now you got cash flow coming in too. Just something. I don't know. Like I said, it's just something. Whoops. I'm gonna take a screen out of Rusty's just because that is a good verbiage. Is it Victoria? What's up, Victoria? Hope you're doing good. Tanner says job site delivery does not work too good around here, and it costs a bunch, and some are on gravel or mud. Ooh, and sometimes we hold doors for weeks. Oops, and of course I just jumped it. I wanted to read that. It's a good one. Let me get back to it. Okay, so mud. Okay, so sometimes we hold the doors for weeks or months. It's better to just unload at the shop. Yes, I think, I don't know. I don't think there's really no cheaper way or any better way I could think of. Um, yeah, I don't think there is. Like I said, I mean, I totally get it, Tanner. And hey, we got 18 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Because I know the problems with it. If the building's not built, um, the doors come in and then the stuff is sitting there, and now the customer's like, "Hey, we're ready for you. Where you at?" Or they got to move it because it's in the way. And they use a SkyTrack. It can be dangerous. So I guess in my head I think about like snowmobile trailers because those are pretty inexpensive, like a four-place snowmobile trailer. They're flat. I guess in my head, I'd probably be buying some of those in my head. I'd be buying some of those, especially dealing with those bigger doors. I'd get everything dumped on the trailer because I ain't gonna handle it again, and then I'd probably just have the trailers always ready to go, for the most part. And then obviously somebody else is gonna have to pull a scissor lift. If it's I call it either, one truck plan, two truck plan, three truck plan, however that goes. I just can't think of anything else that would work that's going to be more economical to some degree, unless it was like a roll-off truck and you had a flatbed made where you had multiple of those, which those things, probably the insert is going to cost around probably about $4,000, you know what I mean, per insert. But you could at least, I'm just trying to think of how you could handle it less. That's the big thing. So, because like us, we get them dropped at the shop, and then you gotta, they get put inside, which is nice or whatever. But then you got to put them back on a trailer. You got to strap them down where it's like, it'd be nice if they were just sitting there. You just tarp it or whatever. It's just ready to go for when the job. You don't have to handle the stuff again. But I get it. If it's mud and all that stuff, and like you said with the egg, that's a totally different animal. I mean, that's definitely your world because, like I said, we don't really. I just did the one that'll come out. So if you're not a subscriber, you need to be a subscriber. There'll be a video coming out where I tell you guys about the variables, right? And we were going to this job, and the job was nice and dry the whole time. Rusty's seen a few pictures. But, the first day my truck was getting sandblasted. I had a pile of sand in my seat because I left the window down like a dum-dum. And of course, then you know how it is. You roll up the windows, right? And it's all, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then I went a couple days. I said, it's going to rain. I'll do the weather seal in a couple days. I go there and dude, there's puddles on each side. it's all beach, you know what I mean? Like beach sand. And I'm like, ooh, like if I had a service van, I would really question my actions right now because with a heavy service van, I might sink and I'm probably gonna get stuck. So luckily I had four-wheel drive. I put it in four-wheel drive to leave because the puddles were so big, and I thought I'm gonna get stuck in a puddle and I want to get out and lock the hubs in. So, but going in, made it. Didn't hear no spinning, but yeah, the conditions changed. You know what I mean? And all it took was a couple days, and we had a lot of rain, and voila, not fun. Then load and take to the job. At least save on trailers. If you bought trailers and all that, I just trying to figure out how you could expedite. Like I think I was always going to buy. So one thing when I was gonna when I was looking at shops or I was going to buy another shop, I always looked at. I was going to always get a. I wanted to get whatever you call it, a dock. You know where the semi goes down into the dock, so that way we're level, right? Because then you could just walk out and we could put them on carts. We could put all the door sections right on carts and we could stroll them around. Um, and then obviously if you got some kind of truck, you know, like a what do they call it, a stake truck, whatever, right? The ones that are flat or got the sides on them. You know, if you got something like that with a long one, um, hopefully get something under CDL. It'd be nice to you could just put that stuff on there, you know, because I'm always thinking about just like the trailer thing, that might not be a good idea, right? Because the trailers, more tires, more license plate. I don't know if your state is one of those ones where they gotta, you know, we get permanent ones here for now, but you know, you got plates, you got the lights. So, you know, like I think about like a stake truck, at least maybe you could use it. You can pull stuff with it, you can load it up with stuff. Um, of course it's not probably gonna be four-wheel drive though, so that's a bummer, but maybe you find something. Just trying to spin the wheels and think a little bit. What? What's Rich got here? Double spring. Let's see here. Did I miss something? It says load and take to the job. I believe Surface Shield is made by PB. I think you're right. I think you're right, Rich, with the PB Blaster. Eric says, do you have any extra clipboards laying around? Only one. This was how I used to schedule back in the day until we got Jobber. Somebody's not having a good day. Ambulance is going by. Oops, come on now. Why did I jump on this thing again? Rusty says here. Then we got the sign. Oh, what did I miss? I keep messing with this message here. Even that works. Liftmaster Ben. About cable clamps. Double them. Job mud. Okay, here we go. I believe surface shield. Rusty's got Dave. I use clamps to clamp every spring I clamp. Double them on 2 5/8 inside diameter. Okay, perfect. So thank you, Rusty, for there you go. So you're doubling them. So like I said, that worked good. Get spring clamps. That's what I've heard from a lot of guys. They're and I've used them. They worked. I was brought up on spring clamps, the blocks. So that's what I've always kind of stuck with. I don't think there's really even say, oh, this is better or worse or whatever. They're cheap at your hardware store and they get you out of a bind and get the customer up and running. More power to you. Go for it. Evan says, I believe I was asking about cable clamps because I've seen on torsion spring patches here. Okay. Rusty says, Evan, they work great. And I never had a lot of experience with them, so I don't know if it's like they can slip. I'm sure if it tightened down, I believe Rusty. You know what I mean? If they work good, they work good. So, and they're cheap. You can get them at your store. Like I said, locally. Hey, man. I've been there. Certain cable size clamps that work better. I think you're going to have like a little bit of a diversified, is my guess. You know what I mean? You probably have to have like, I don't know if you go to the store, they might have like 3 or 4 different cable sizes. I'd probably just grab a handful of them. I don't think they're that expensive. Just so when you're on the, whatever cradles it the best, clamps down good. And with time, you'll learn, what works. Kevin says, I rarely have to double up cable clamp. I think on the bigger springs, it's just nicer. It's a little more. It evens out. If you get, I've had like 6-inch springs, right, and they get all funky. When you wind them, they'll start bucking funny. So that's why I just like doubling them. Like residential, nah. But I probably 2 5/8, like Rusty's saying. Anything bigger, you know. Evan's got, I think they are probably the 5/16 or 3/8. Tanner's got Rusty. Have you ever doubled up spring clamps on a commercial door? I usually don't clamp commercial, but in emergencies, I will. That's also why I want to bring it up, like for Tanner's text there. That's why I bought the small. They sell them at the like Home Depots and stuff. I bought and they're a freaking pain to get. When you want to get them up and running, like you need to spend the time now if you're not busy. But I would buy those small propane, or I'm sorry, the torches, the blow torches, the little kit, because I tell you what, those have gotten me out of a bind a lot of times, especially when the spring is blown over the cones. You can get up there, you can hit it with it, pop them out of the way, you can get the tab bent back down where it needs to be. I've clamped the spring, back up. So having those mini torches, especially if you're doing the repairs and you're dealing with a lot of commercial, residential. Maybe. I mean, I've used a grinder to get I've used the grinder too, but a torch just works so much faster, so much easier. You got to be careful about obviously fire, so you probably want to get a fire extinguisher. You just got to be smart. You might even want to eventually buy one of those. I even had the blanket, the fireproof blanket. But like I said, most of the stuff is not readily available, so you got to go to your welding store to get the blankets, or you got to order it offline. The tanks you got to get filled, right? You can't. I don't think they give you empty tanks even at the store. They just give you the kit. So you have to find the tanks, the right gas for them, the oxygen, everything. It takes time. It's not like, when it happens, I'll do it. No, if you're doing that stuff, really just get on it. You know what I mean? Go get one, because it'll make your life when you're 8 o'clock up in the ceiling on a scissor lift, on a Friday, and you're sitting there going, yeah, darn it, I should have listened to Uncle Dave. They work pretty nice. Emergency, I will. Tanner says, I love the block clamps. Best thing since sliced bread. Oh, yeah. Tanner, I have put 3 clamps. I don't know if I've ever done this. I put 3 clamps on a commercial spring before, but it was to be for someone I like. That's right, Rich. TGIF Fridays. Oh, that's right. That's what it was that was who it was. TGI Fridays was the one that had the gift cards that were a lot of money. I forget what the amount was though. It was a lot of money, wasn't it? Says, yeah, I'm looking at a 30-foot triple axle 6-place scissor lift trailer, but brand new. It's like $11K. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I guess it all depends. I mean, you just start getting stuff just starts getting so heavy and so big. It's like where do you stop and what do you do? You know what I mean? And I've honestly, like, for you, Tanner, you're kind of in a different world, and like I don't even know, like where do you place a scissor lift, and you're gonna try to take it all in one shot. Well, hell, you might as well just buy a damn semi. You know what I mean? Like. But if you're always taking 2 trucks to every job, so one stays, or one's for lunch or for a runner, or 3 trucks, then it can be somebody's just taking the doors. Really, a lot of it's always logistics. Logistics is a real pain in the ass. I am not gonna lie. I mean, I've spent many nights about logistics. I've spent many. I know what you go through. I know what every one of you go through that's in the garage door stuff. I've probably done it the same, or I've done it worse. and I've screwed it up probably worse than you. Um, but like I said, many sleepless nights. Many, oh my gosh, I got to get this loaded. Oh my gosh, babe, will you come with me to the shop? We got to get this loaded up for the next day because if this doesn't go off with the hitch, it's going to screw this up. It's going to mess this up. A lot of variables, a lot of variables. That's what I talk about. So you're always trying to eliminate the variables, and that's why sometimes just put it out there for some of the people in the world. Sometimes you got to watch it because I call it. I think what I don't know how to coin the phrase is it's called the contractor trap, and I've been down that road because you start buying things, right? You think, well, I listen to Uncle Dave, or I think this, or I think this, and well, I'm going to buy that new truck, And you know what's the worst part is, yeah, there's certain stuff you can depreciate. But when you start seeing employees abuse it and throwing ratchets over and smacking the paint, you're like, dude, like that was a brand, like what's funny, right? I bought new vehicles for the business. I still have never had a brand new vehicle for myself personally. I would always take the hand-me-downs. Why would you do that? Well, here's the reason why. Because I needed my employees to always be in good stuff, right? Because they're on the clock. I only get them from, 8 to 5, and I need them to be out there performing. They're getting paid, they're getting the dollars. I can't have breakdowns. I need them to work because I'm so busy. We're so big. We got so much going on that if they break down the side of the road, that screws up with a customer. But for the most part, for me, I know how to fix everything. I get a flat tire, I know how to take care of it. I know who to call. My brakes start grinding, I know how to fix that. I'll take care of it tonight. I'll do this. I got this. You know what I mean? So like I always, but when you buy some of the stuff, it's all different levels. You know what I mean? But when you buy stuff, you got to remember it all wants to go back in the ground. That's the sad part. So it all just depreciates. It all just goes rusty. It all the bearings, and then everything you bring into your life. So like, for instance, when I think about trailers, right? I go, well, if I could use a truck, like there was always this example of a Chevy. I don't know if they ever made it, but it had a long, like 11-foot bed on it or something like that. I was like, dude, I need that for garage doors. But when I started thinking about it, I go, boy, if that truck can be active most of the time versus even buying now a trailer, right? Because I go, you got to drag it. Somebody's got to hook it up. Now, I have had an employee with my business partner, and he didn't understand this. They were up at a job. They disconnected the trailer. They were hauling a forklift, and it was our scissor lift trailer, but they were hauling a small forklift. They unhooked the trailer to go to lunch. The truck never showed up yet, so they went to lunch, and they were up there just sitting. They came back from lunch. He had the grunt guy, the rookie, hooked the trailer back up. When he went to leave, he never verified, and even though he was driving, he never verified that the trailer was hooked up. So what happened? They go over railroad tracks, clunk, right? And the trailer comes off. Thank God the safety chain's hooked up. But he comes back and tells me this story, and I'm like, what? Now I've been trained very rigidly because I drove semi truck. I got my CDL. That when you're driving, you're in charge. You know what I mean? And I told him, I said, next time that's your load, you need to verify that thing is hooked up correctly. And he's like, dude, it came off the hitch. He's like, it slammed to the ground. He said, sparks are going everywhere. He said, thank God. He said, it didn't come off. He said, there was cars and minivans. He says, if it would have went across, he said, it probably would have hit the grandma. He said, it hit the wife with the kids. He said, it was swaying everywhere. And I'm just like, so that's why every time, it when you're in business, right? A truck, a trailer, it's just more things. It's more wear and tear. Sometimes you got to have it though, right? You got to have it. You got to have certain stuff, but it's just, like I said, if somebody doesn't do the right thing and latch it, which I've done, I've latched it funny one time or I forgot. It happens. It happens. Luckily, it never came off the hitch, but things happen. And what's weird is most people nowadays, not all, but most, don't understand. Like I've watched guys try to start like two stroke, like a saw, and I'm like watching. I'm like, dude, I'm like I can smell the gas from over here. It's flooded. Like you can't, whoa. And I'm thinking, of course, because nowadays most people don't come from a farm. You know what I mean? So they never had to drive a tractor or deal with carburetor or some of these people don't even own houses, right? So they don't have to go out with a weed whacker and figure out the lawnmower, and they just, it's just it's sad. Oh. But I look at 30 triple, says Tanner, but yes, best trailer for doors, long, wide, and flat. Tanner, depending on taxes this year, I may buy a lift, but not that big. Tanner's got 6-place sled trailer. I meant, oh, nice. Nice. I'm pretty sure the lift we got, we're like I said, for like 300 and some change a month. I think that thing's gonna go. I think the one's gonna go. Just bring the one in, and like I said, then you don't gotta worry about it. It's like having another person on the crew that knows how to work on it. Because if it has a problem, you just call them up. They'll either come and pick it up, they'll swap it out, they'll fix it, whatever. It's up to codes, up to specs. And like I said, here's the thing. I got to be honest with you. Some of this stuff, which you guys may have not experienced, is if you ever want to leave the field, that's the problem. You know what I mean? So most time, if you're on the job with the workers, it's not so bad because you're always managing, you're always watching it. But when you let people go, that's where problems can arise, right? Because now stuff has to be up to certain safety. You need the stuff to be kind of dummy proof as much as possible and best shape as possible, because there's things. Home Depot has nice carts. Just take one of theirs. They're free. They let you take them outside. Just pick one up, put it in the back of the truck. Tanner says, I have two 3219 scissor lifts and a 4726, so I don't have huge lifts. I have always brung a 3219 lift for my bigger doors. It's the best way to install 24. I'm trying not to lose it here. Plus doors, one on each end of the tip two. Nice. Nice. I lost it here. Dude, that says a whole. What do you got here? The hole, then one guy can be winding. Okay, and one hang them on the openers. Both can take up, and front guy can go down, lift up the door, and I can hang the back. It's great. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff into there. That's Tanner's department. Totally agree, Tanner. I would eventually like to have two, one for myself and one for my brother. Says we are able each to tear out a 12 by 12 by ourselves. Firehouse jobs we did. Time is money. Yeah, two scissor lifts is really nice. For us, it's always normally what happens is you have one guy at a commercial job, or you have something lined up, he's doing an install, whatever. Well, typically it's two guys there doing whatever. And then a lot of times what will happen is you get a call, hey, doors broke, hey, doors upside, not upside down, but it's happened. It's crooked. You gotta run out and take care of it. Somebody else still not having a good day. Can you guys hear the ambulance? But I look at it, so like I just did this one for the brother-in-law, and I was questioning it. I was really questioning it. I was like, I don't want him really to spend the money, and it was for a 12 by 12. It was a 12 by 12, putting up a trolley opener, and I was like, I can do it off a ladder. He's got a forklift there. I was like, I could do it off a ladder. And I tell you what, I'm so thankful that I didn't. Hey, we got 21 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Really appreciate it. 21? It's amazing. Um, so I was like, no, man. I mean, I got burned so bad when I helped Josh, and I love Josh. Love you, Josh. But up and down that ladder and not having everything like what what some, I'm a slow learner. The scissor lift, all your stuff is in the bottom of the scissor lift. So it's up, it's down with you. It's up, it's down with you. But when you got to put bags on and you got impacts and you got your bins with all the screws and nuts and bolts and all that stuff, that's a lot. And so I was like, you get a lift there. Get a lift there. I'll see what I can do. And God darn it, I tell you, there's so many things I forgot. Like I had to mess with the strut. I had to mess with the top panel. I had to get quick turn brackets. Um, I had to run wire, right? The wire was one of the things I kind of, and it was drywall, and I stapled the crap. I still got to go back and fix it. I got a short somewhere. Imagine that. But like I said, without that lift, I would have definitely needed some help. You know what I mean? I would have but I could pretty much do it. Now I had them help me put the opener in. Um, but if I had to, I could do it. I could do it by myself. I would have found a ratchet strap. I would have done something, right? Used leverage. But I'm just saying, like the scissor lift is it's like another, it's like two people to me. It's like another, you got to have it. Totally agree. Rusty, we rented 400 per day for two. Two, I guess, for a day. Rich, bottom, was it say bottle gas you can get at Tractor Supply? The bottle gas? I might need some. Oh, the bottle gas. Okay, okay. Gotcha. Tractor Supply. Gotcha. Missed it. Rusty, where's Rich? Rich. 50 mil. Bottle gas, your Tractor Supply. Says Tanner says, dude, just rent them for the month. I used to rent them by the job per day. I found out I could rent it for the month for like 400 or so. Then I bought one and ended up still renting one for a year. 50. Oh, it's 50 mil, Rich. So that was a 50 mil they had in gift cards out there. Think about that cash flow, baby. Just something to consider. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, the scissor lift is always kind of weird. We've had really good luck with the genies, but I don't know. Like I said, it's just nice having a peace of mind that if something goes wrong, you just take it. You don't have to work on it yourself. I mean, that was a problem. Like I said, we had trailers, we had trucks, we had scissor lift. Who was the mechanic? I was the mechanic. I was always working. I had no support. There's like nobody that's going to be like, oh, I know how to work on that. Like, I know how to work on scissor. I didn't know how to work on scissor. I'm like YouTubing how to work on scissor. I remember the one I bought, the batteries were dead. So I had whatever, like $1,200 in batteries. That sucks. How you explain that to the wife? Yeah, I just bought this like $6,000 scissor lift and now it needs $1,200. Hooray. And it looks like it might need tires too, but we're not going to do that right now. And then you do the batteries, and then 3 weeks later the charger goes out. Hooray! That's fun. And of course, it had to break down at the worst time. Right, I sent three guys out to a car dealership. That's all of an hour and 15 one way, and they call me, "Hey man, scissor lift's not working. It's dead, and we can't charge it." It was one of those jobs like we been pushing it, or whatever. I got three guys waiting around. I'm running around all different towns trying to find trying to find a golf cart battery or get a golf cart charger. I had to go to like this trailer park and like meet these like just weird people. They're like, yeah, I got it right here, and they're pulling it out of like their shed and crap's falling over. And I'm like, I need that. Does it work? Oh yeah, I think so. And it's got like dust and everything. And I'm like, oh, God damn, I hope it works. Like I need this to work. And I had to run up to see them and like hot wire it, and I think they got it partially on there or something. I don't know. They were burned out. They were waiting like 2 hours on me. Oh, it was bad. So I bought another one, rented one out for a day, a month. I will take advice and look into that. It's just something. What's up, Tony? Holy cow, man. I've been waiting forever on you. Hey, Tony says, whatever. Tanner's got whatever you do, do not buy brand new any scissor lift. Genie Sky Jig, all suck. Get 2018 or older. Ooh, this is good information. The new ones have too many OSHA standards. Ooh, that's why you're here. This is good stuff right here. Okay, so I had an OSHA standard. Bought a brand new one last year and brought it back 6 months later and got the nicest 2018. Damn, I didn't know this. This is good information. Um, and some money back. That's the newest year before OSHA standards switch. Wow. They won't go up past, what was this, 8 feet by the door, drains. Oh man. Oh, okay. So if it slopes, barely. Oh my gosh. Isn't this like what defeats a lift? I just sometimes it's hard because I've had workers and they're like, oh, there's something. I'm like, you don't understand, dude. Like I used to do this crap off a ladder all day long. I was all like up on the ladder, shaking. I'm like, you got the other side, like depending on the other guy. Don't drop it. You drop it. I'm going with it. Like 2 ladders. And so I look, like scissor lifts are like now it's like they got too much safety on them. You know what I mean? It's kind of like sometimes like it's like I grew up with no anti-lock brakes, right? I don't like anti-lock brakes. I like to be in control. When I'm hitting the brakes, I don't need it doing its weird burr, 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 and it's like I'm something's not right. Like I'll do the pumping, you know what I mean? And or like I think of like traction control. Sometimes luckily if you can turn them off, but it's like are they really off? Sometimes it's like they do their own, and I'm like, sometimes it's just like that. I need power. Give me power. Like I'm in control. I'm the captain. So that drives me nuts. I sit there and I think about that and I go, so now you got to be unsafe or undo the safety. And then what if somebody else uses it, and then it's in a, it's on a, where it could tip. It says the lift trailers are garbage. I'm assuming you're talking about like the ones that have the hydraulic and stuff. Never got one. I always thought about it, but it too complex for us in Michigan. Like some salt and stuff, I just nah. So I always dealt with like a tip and a winch, but the trailer setup we got now, man, galvanized. They still look good. They're not rusting. I think the box I put on front is rusting, but other than that, they're good. They're solid. The grips work good. They're nice. So remember that when I'm looking. That's good information. 2018. Remember that. Remember that, guys and girls. 2018 or older. Didn't know that, so that might change things. So we might have to talk. See, I wonder there's a brand that they use. It's a red one. I forget what it's called, like MMP or something like that. They were using those for a while, and I wonder if I talk to them if that would be a brand that maybe doesn't have that safety. Maybe, but I know Tanner said a lot of the. Tony, welcome, my friend. Were you napping? Tony says, no, partying with the neighbors. That's all good. Tanner, the Brave, the new ones, 0 hours, hot off the press, are 13K or so, but a really nice low hour 218 older you can get for 8K and less. And I run Skyjack. Whoops. Says I run Skyjack because they are popular and easy to work on yourself. That's good to know. Tanner says less expensive parts. That's also good. Tanner says, geez, well, yeah, where's my invite? He says, is it James? Says, yo, hello. These old timers getting crazy down here. Nice and warm probably though. Peter, what's up, Peter S? SOS knew, what was it says? SOS knew you were a party people. There you go. What's this guy? Evan's got, how were the fireworks, Tony? Oh, yeah, you got, was it pineapple? Oh, the pineapple going over there. I love it. He says, oh, I just heard about the, not that I know of. I think I learned about a year ago, the was it upside down pineapple and stuff. Didn't even know what that stuff was. Learning something new every year, it seems like. Tanner was was a show once. Had to ask the wife. It was so funny when I knew why it was so okay. People on the show didn't understand what people were getting at. Yeah, Peter. Sometimes in life, you just gotta swing. There you go. Was this? Is this Comish? It says, "What's up, Dave?" It says, "Commissioner here. Uh, just checking in. Awesome. Got the thumbs up. Appreciate it." Tanner's got my diesel mechanic is as equipment rental guy also. Boom, win with. Oh yeah, heck yeah, that's real nice. And that's something too. I'm gonna preach it again, but you honestly really need to consider who your dealers are, right? Just like when you're starting a business, right? Any business, look at where you're going to get supplies, where you're going to drop stuff off, your travel, your commute, um, the vehicles that you buy, where your vendors are, because that stuff adds up. And honestly, I jumped into, at least with affordable, I jumped into it and it was always like, I'm doing garage doors. I'm going to be a millionaire. And you can make money, but I got neutered. Now, sometimes it was kicked. I don't even know if it was neutered. And so you just gotta, and there's this thing that you start realizing that time adds up, time. And you need to eliminate as much stuff that you have to touch or the time. So just take that in consideration. So your dealerships are important, right? Where do you get your parts? Where do you get stuff fixed? Your mechanics. I mean, all this stuff adds up. Like for us, we've had really good luck with Genie lifts. We have a lot of Genie lifts in our area. How many have I? I think I've only had the one. We haven't had it hasn't been in for anything. But the other one was that one. Is that a Skyjack? I think it's a Skyjack. It's older. It had the batteries, which is fine. It is what it is. Oh, the Genie we did do batteries. It didn't make it any better though. It's just a slow lift. I think it's got the lower cylinder, which I screwed up. So another thing to consider for you guys, remember, get the bigger cylinder. Because I think they make a 300-pound cylinder. I don't know if this is across the board. It's a 300-pound cylinder and there's a 500-pound cylinder. Well, guess what? Two guys and a couple commercial garage door springs. The 300-pounder don't it's like, you're like holding on to the door, trying to make it go up past that pivot point, the first kickoff. So definitely get the bigger one. Make sure it's got the bigger one. I don't know how you check it. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I never seen a label or anything, or I don't know if it's in the VIN or something. But whoever we're buying it from. So we bought ours from a rental company. It worked out pretty good. At least we knew, what I liked about it too when I bought it from the rental company. They're a big company. I can bring it back and they can be like, they're not going to be like, we don't work on this. And I'd be like, "Pull crap, I bought it from you. You don't give me this crap. You don't work on it. It's one of yours." And we just got lucky. It was good. It's just, like I said, it's a little weak. I wish the cylinder was bigger. It says, what's Rich Guy says, what color, this, I don't even know, skirts, are they flying? Tanner's got, when I was renting a 3219, and something some people probably might not know. I didn't realize the numbers typically correlate to what it is. So it might be like a 32-inch wide by 19 foot tall. I didn't know that. So I know when I'm reading, I'm going 32. I go, okay, 32, it'll go through a man door, 19 foot for height. It says I cut 2 inches off the cage so it would put in my enclosed trailer. Easy to do, fits right back in Titan bolts. My buddy worked for a rental place, so I told him after, and he says, put it back in the building by the other ones. Oh, and other ones, and barely tell. He says, he was like, "Man, don't tell me that crap." He says, "Now I notice this every time I told him, just make sure I get that one." Every time. That's funny. It's like the one I used to rat. I drilled holes in it so I could put an angle, so I could put the springs on it. We could lift it up, so we have to hold the commercial springs. I'm surprised somebody hasn't came out with some kind of arm that attaches to the scissor lift that's kind of flexible that would push, because when you're dealing with big heavy garage door springs, it would sure be nice if you had an arm that took some of the spring, some of the spring tension or the weight. I'm not spring, but the weight off of it. That'd be nice. I just always used a couple commercial angle, bolt it, one side to the other, left it extend out, and I'd slide them on there and, put them up with the lift. Um, that worked. You got to crouch down while you're working, but sure as beats sitting there holding it, and the guy's like, "Got the bolts in yet?" Obviously, if you can put your bracket up, that works too. You can swing it up there. That works nice too. Oops, I hit something here. Tanner's got, or rest of them will look like, he says, or the rest of them will look like that. That's funny. That is funny. I love it. Let's see here. 32-26. We're good a bit taller. Huge fan. He says 5'9". He says on a good day. So the 32 is best. Put up panels on top. But the 32-26 lifts a bit more. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sweet. So I think I made it through. What's up? NASCAR, yes or no? I don't know. Like I said, I don't do NASCAR anymore. Ever since Dale Earnhardt passed away, I don't know. NASCAR just never felt the same to me. Oops, I lost it. So, anywho, I think I caught up on the comments, and I really appreciate you guys being here. It's been fun. Tony, do you want to try what we were talking about? It's up to you. Tony thought maybe we could share a live. I have no clue if it's going to work. So if you haven't, you should check out his channel too. Tony's Door Service, right, Tony? Look for the purple. Got to keep the purple, Tony. We can give it a try, a shot. I don't know how you're gonna invite me. That's what I don't know. But you're more welcome. I got this phone's going, but this is my old phone, so I'm just on doing comments because I lost my comments on this one. So if I jump off here, like I said, we might be over on Tony's. We're gonna see maybe if he can do an invite or something. We're gonna practice it. NASCAR, he says I'm going real fast and real left. There you go. We can give it a shot. I'm gonna go. Let's give it a try. Do it up. It's like a swing live chat. Ooh. No, I don't know. I'm gonna turn this one off, so I'm not gonna be able to see your comments. Maybe I'll jump back on if nothing pops up. I see Rich sent me something, so I'm going to jump off this one. It feels weird. Like if I shut that one off, I feel like I'm not there anymore. But I'm seeing like old footage on there, so it's really weird. What did Rich sent me? Let's see what Rich said. What is this? All these scrubbers or whatever he's got. I didn't know about this. Oh, I can't do that. I can't. Oh, I can. Because it don't show Rich's number here, right? No number. Look at, right? It's got scrubbers on there. Like the scrubbies, like you scrub your armpit. I didn't know about this. What is this? What is this nonsense? Is this something now too? It's there. I'm just texting some people. So we're going to see if Rich can, or not Rich, I'm sorry, Tony can bump me in. I have no clue if it even works. If not, we're just kind of floating. We appreciate you guys being here. Check out Tony's channel. Like I said, he's hopefully gonna be doing a live. I can pass the torch. I've done my job. We've learned so much tonight. Even myself has been stinking-tastic. I tell you what, these things are dangerous. Oh, did I miss something? Tony. Okay, so Tony's here. Says website. Let's go like this. YouTube go live together. Okay, so what do I do? I clicked on it. Tony's Garage Door is live. I can test it. Ooh, snap. Hosted Tony's, okay, so Tony's Garage Door service scheduled today. Affordable join. This is nuts, man. This is like so weird. Got to check out Tony's. We're going to be over there. Anyway, I wanted to tell you how these things are dangerous. I told them we might need these, our AirPods, because I don't know if it's going to echo. I have no clue. Wait for host. Oh my gosh.
There we are.
It works. This is nuts.
There we go.
It worked. It worked actually pretty good. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Now we just need to make sure, and you're not using your earpiece, right?
Nope.
No,
I'm not.
no echo or nothing, no funniness.
No, sounds good.
Sweet. There you go. You guys will have to go over there and let us know if everything's working out.
I'm gonna hit live. Here we go right now.
Oh, we're not live yet. Okay.
I don't think we are. It says go live at the bottom.
Oh,
here we go.
I don't see nothing. Welcome. I don't see nothing at the chat.
There we go.
Right. No, now it says on my side too. We're live. Son of a gun. You guys have to check it out. You have to go over here and just tell us hello. That's crazy. So what's going on over there? What's weather like?
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
I'd say it's about 70. It's 72.
72 out still? Holy cow.
Yeah, 72.
Dang, we're at like 40 right now. I think it might be even lower yet. We're at 40 degrees.
I don't even sound good.
So what's look at this. We got them coming in. This is sweet.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Great.
Learn something new. I can't believe how good it's working too, and you're down in Florida.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah. And I'm under a metal awning.
Dang. Yeah.
My garage.
I love it. I love it.
Metal. So normally I don't have good signal in metal.
Right. All right, guys, I'm signing off this one. You got to go over to Tony's channel. If you want to talk some more, we'd appreciate you being there. So I'm signing off. You guys have a good night. If I could turn it off.